So, you're thinking about becoming an AI engineer in 2025? You've absolutely come to the right place. We're going to lay out the complete roadmap to help you land a job in one of the most exciting fields in tech right now, whether you're a pro or just starting out. Let's dive in. So, why all the hype? Well, the numbers really speak for themselves. I mean, just take a look. Right now, on LinkedIn in India, there are over 34,000 open jobs for AI engineers. That is a staggering amount of opportunity just waiting. And it's not just a fluke on one platform. Nope. You hop over to Indeed, and bam, another 14,000 plus listings. The demand is absolutely massive, and it's only growing. Companies are practically shouting from the rooftops for people with these skills. Which, brings us to the big question, right? With all these jobs out there, what's the actual path? How do you get from where you are now to being a qualified AI engineer? What skills do you need? What should you build? That's exactly what we're about to break down step by step. Okay, first things first, let's get one thing straight. AI isn't some futuristic sci-fi concept. It's already here. In fact, you've probably already used it a bunch of times today, maybe even before your first cup of coffee. Just think about it for a second. That Face ID you use to unlock your phone, that's AI. The video YouTube just recommended to you, AI. The reason your inbox isn't flooded with junk is because of AI-powered spam filters. Even the fraud detection that keeps your payments safe on apps like PhonePay and Paytm, or the route Google Maps finds for you. Yep, it's all AI, working quietly in the background. It's literally everywhere. Okay, so AI is all around us. We get that. But what does an AI engineer actually do all day? What's the job? And how is it any different from, say, a regular software engineer? Let's clear that up. To put it simply, an AI engineer is the architect and the builder of these smart systems. They're kind of a hybrid, living right where software engineering and data science meet. So while a software engineer might build the user interface or the database, the AI engineer is the one focused on creating the AI model, managing the data it needs, and then actually plugging that brain into the application so it works. Now hold on, before we go any further, we need a quick reality check. With all the buzz around things like Gen AI, it's easy to think this is some kind of get-rich-quick scheme. But let's be real. As one expert perfectly put it, this is not a very easy field to enter into just to make quick money. This takes real work and real dedication. And what does that dedication look like? Well, to really learn what we're about to go over, you need to be prepared to set aside about 5 to 6 months for some serious, focused learning. And we're talking 3 to 4 hours every single day. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Consistency is everything here. Okay, you're ready to commit? Awesome. Then your journey starts by building a rock-solid foundation. I mean, you can't build a skyscraper on a weak foundation, right? Same thing here. You can't build a career in AI without mastering these 3 core pillars first. These right here are your absolute non-negotiables. First up, mathematics. It's the language that all these AI models speak. Second, Python. It's the undisputed king of programming languages for AI. It's the tool you'll use to build everything. And third, data structures and algorithms, or DSA. This is the logic that makes your code fast and efficient. And we gotta get specific here. For math, we're talking about getting really comfortable with linear algebra, calculus, and probability. For Python, it's way more than just the basics. You need a deep understanding of object-oriented programming. And for DSA, look, you don't need to be a world-class competitive coder, but you absolutely have to master the core concepts up to a medium difficulty level. All right, once that foundation is solid, it's time to start building the actual structure. This is the main event. This is where you're going to spend most of your time, diving deep into the core skills that actually power artificial intelligence. And we can break this whole thing down into a really clear 4-step journey. You'll kick things off with data handling and visualization, because let's face it, AI is useless without good, clean data. From there, you'll jump into machine learning, which is all about teaching computers to make predictions. Then you level up to deep learning and neural networks. And finally, you'll tackle the big one, large language models, the magic behind tools like ChatGPT. Now, when you get to machine learning, you'll find there are basically 3 main flavors. You've got supervised learning, where you give the computer labeled data to make predictions. Think of that spam filter again. Then there's unsupervised learning, where you give it unlabeled data and it finds hidden patterns on its own, like how a store figures out customers who buy bread also tend to buy milk. And then there's reinforcement learning, which is all about trial and error to get a reward.
That's the powerhouse behind really complex stuff like self-driving cars.
The good news, you're not starting from zero. You're going to stand on the shoulders of giants by using an incredible toolkit of Python libraries. For messing with data, you'll have NumPy and Pandas. For making sense of it with charts and graphs, Matplotlib and Seaborn. Scikit-learn will be your best friend for most machine learning tasks, and for the really heavy lifting in deep learning, you'll get to know the big guns, PyTorch and TensorFlow.
Okay, now for what might be the most crucial part of this whole journey. See, learning all this theory is one thing, but proving to an employer that you can actually apply it, that's what gets you the job. And that means you have to build projects, real ones.
And I'm not talking about some simple tutorial project you just copied. You need to build something that solves a real problem and makes someone say, wow. How about a fake news detector? Or a tool that can summarize a super long article into a few key points? Or, if you want something really eye-catching, an AI art generator that can take any photo and repaint it in the style of Van Gogh. These are the projects that get you noticed. And speaking of that art generator, the tech behind it is just so cool. It uses something called a generative adversarial network, again. Basically, you have two AIs battling it out. One is the generator, which tries to create fake images, and the other is the discriminator, which tries to spot the fakes. The generator's goal is to fool the discriminator, and the discriminator's goal is to not get fooled. They just keep getting better and better until the fake images are unbelievably realistic. How cool is that? Building these projects also means learning the tools of the trade. You have to manage your code like a professional using Git and GitHub. For your AI frameworks, a great way to go is to start with PyTorch, since it's a bit more beginner-friendly, and then move on to TensorFlow, which is a huge industry standard. And this is critical. You need to learn how to actually deploy your models on a cloud platform like AWS or Azure. And if you're already working, learning Docker is a massive, massive advantage. Okay, you've built the foundation, you've mastered the core skills, you've built an amazing portfolio. You are so close. Now it's time for that final push, taking all that hard work and actually turning it into your first job as an AI engineer. And the reward for all this effort? It's pretty significant. For a skilled fresher in India, the starting salary for an AI engineer is typically somewhere between 6 and 12 lakhs per annum. So yeah, your investment of time and energy really does pay off. So, here it is, your final checklist, your action plan. First, aim for 3 to 4 fantastic projects that are actually deployed and have their code on GitHub. Second, craft a killer resume that highlights those projects. Third, make your LinkedIn profile a magnet for recruiters. And finally, a pro tip, try to get an internship before you go for a full-time job. That real-world experience is priceless. And there you have it, the entire roadmap, from start to finish. The path is clear, the demand for these skills is through the roof, and all the tools are right there for you to use. The only thing left to ask is the question that gets it all started. Your journey begins right now. So, what will you build first?